All right, so you sent us this stuff about the Statue of Liberty,
Hmm.
but you're not just interested in like the basic facts, right? We're going deep on conspiracy theories about Lady Liberty.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, all right, so buckle up everybody because this is going to be a wild ride.
It really is fascinating how a symbol like the Statue of Liberty can attract so many, alternative interpretations.
Right. I mean, it's a gift from France dedicated back in 1886,
Uh-huh.
designed by Frederick Auguste Bartholdi to symbolize Enlightenment freedom.
Yeah, classic symbols of hope and democracy.
But it makes you wonder, like, why are we so drawn to these hidden meanings, especially with something so positive on the surface?
It's a good question. I think humans are naturally inclined to look for patterns and explanations, even when they might not actually be there.
Yeah, and I mean, the Statue of Liberty is pretty hard to miss, right?
Right smack dab in New York Harbor.
Huge.
It's kind of begging to be overanalyzed.
Totally. Okay, so let's get into some of these theories that you sent
All
over.
right, let's do it.
One of them claims that the statue isn't just about freedom.
Okay.
It's like a secret message encoded to influence us.
Oh, this is a good one.
Right. So they point to things like the torch, a classic symbol of enlightenment,
Hmm.
but some people see it as like a tool of manipulation, almost like a form of mind control.
It's interesting how a symbol as simple as a torch can be interpreted in so many different ways.
I know, right?
Like, on the one hand, it represents knowledge progress, seeking out truth.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it could be seen as blinding people or even controlling them, especially when you consider, like, the sheer scale of the Statue of Liberty's torch.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Okay, then you've got the broken chains at the statue's feet.
Right. Classic symbol of freedom from oppression.
Exactly, but some people see them as representing a break from like traditional values, even like a rejection of established power structures.
I could see that. That could resonate with people who are, maybe feeling like society is going in the wrong direction.
Right, like those chains represent order.
Exactly. Even if those chains also represent limitations.
It's a trade-off, I guess. Okay, this next one, this is where things start to get a little,
A little what?
well, a little more esoteric.
Oh, here we go.
It's the theory connecting the Statue of Liberty to Freemasonry and the occult.
Ah, yes, the Masonic connection's a classic.
So this theory claims that the statue is full of these Masonic symbols, and it's all part of a bigger hidden agenda.
Right, and a lot of this so-called evidence focuses on the design elements, like, for example, the 7 rays on the crown.
Yeah, I noticed that in the stuff you sent.
They're often linked to the 7 liberal arts and sciences, which are definitely important in Masonic tradition.
Okay, but hold on for a sec. Before we go any further, can we just like back up, and for people who might not know, can you give us a quick explanation of what Freemasonry actually is?
Sure, Freemasonry is basically a fraternal organization. It's got a long history, a lot of it shrouded in mystery, and honestly a lot of misinformation too.
Yeah, it seems like people are always whispering about them.
Exactly. At its core, Freemasonry emphasizes personal growth, ethical conduct, and community service.
Okay, so kind of like a brotherhood focused on self-improvement.
Exactly, but because of the rituals and the symbolism they use, it's always been kind of a magnet for conspiracy theories.
So how does this all tie back into the Statue of Liberty? Are they saying that the sculptor was a Freemason?
Not necessarily. The theory is more about the idea that the statue's design was influenced by Masonic principles, whether consciously or not. Like, some people point to the number of steps leading up to the crown. There are 354 of them.
Really? I had no idea.
And they try to connect that number to Masonic numerology.
Oh, I see. So it's not about like a direct connection to the Masons. It's more about like these potential hidden meanings and symbolism.
Exactly. The idea that there's something more going on beneath the surface. And that plays right into that human desire we were talking about.
Wanting to feel like you're in on a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've uncovered some hidden truth that most people are just oblivious to.
And this whole Masonic thing, it just feeds right into that long-standing fascination with secret societies and how much power they supposedly have.
Oh, absolutely. Secret societies controlling world events. It's a tale as old as time.
And then you get into the whole thing with our island's former name, Bedloe's Island.
Right.
Some people make a connection to the number 13, which has all these, occult connotations.
That's a bit of a stretch if you ask me.
I know, right? But I can see how it fits into that whole, like, secret society narrative.
It's all about creating a compelling story, even if the connections are pretty flimsy when you really look at them.
Yeah, they take these little bits of history and symbolism and weave them together into something that feels believable.
Exactly. Whether or not there's any truth to it is another story altogether.
Okay, so we've got secret messages, we've got maybe the Freemasons are involved, but some of these theories get a little bit darker, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like one that you sent over claims that the Statue of Liberty isn't even really about freedom at all.
What?
It's about control.
Whoa, okay.
It's this idea that the statue is so big and imposing that it's actually meant to make people feel small and insignificant.
Oh, like it's there to enforce conformity.
Exact.
Huh. Instead of like inspiring hope, it's designed to make you feel kind of scared and obedient.
Right.
It does make you think about how powerful imagery can be used to, mess with people's emotions, even subconsciously. I mean, we see that all the time with advertising,
Oh, absolutely.
propaganda.
Yeah, and this theory probably really resonates with people who are already kind of suspicious of authority and power structures. They might see the statue as a symbol of the system that's trying to keep them down rather than lift them up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, of course, we got to talk about the New World Order. It feels like that conspiracy theory is everywhere.
Oh yeah, the New World Order can't escape it.
Right. So in this case, the theory is that the Statue of Liberty is like a symbol for this globalist agenda.
Right? A beacon for this like shadowy elite who are pulling the strings behind the scenes trying to control the world.
It's weird. It's like this theory's always tap into our fears about global control, Especially in a world that feels more and more interconnected.
It makes sense though, right? Globalization is a real thing. The concentration of power is a real thing, whether it's corporations or government or, in this case, a secret cabal that's supposedly running the show. It's scary to think about not having control over your own life.
Right. It's like this primal fear.
Exactly. And the Statue of Liberty is such a powerful symbol. It's recognized all over the world. So it makes sense that people would project those fears onto it.
Okay, so big picture here. It seems like there's this thread running through all of these theories, right? Whether it's secret messages or Masonic influence or the New World Order, it's all about things not being what they seem.
Yeah, like there's this hidden truth that's being kept from us.
Right, and like if you believe in the theory, you're part of this select group, the enlightened few who can see through the illusion.
It's appealing, right?
Yeah, totally. It's like you're in the know. You have this secret knowledge that other people don't. And that feels powerful.
Especially in a world where we're just bombarded with information all the time.
It can be hard to know what to believe.
Right. It's easy to feel like you're not getting the full picture. So these conspiracy theories, they offer a sense of order. They give you a narrative, a way to make sense of things that otherwise seem random or chaotic.
It's like creating a story that connects the dots, even if the dots aren't actually related.
Exactly. And by believing in that story, you become part of something bigger.
Which makes sense. I mean, we all want to feel like we understand the world around us.
Yet, of course.
And if the official explanations don't resonate, we're going to look for other answers.
Right, even if those answers are based on speculation rather than evidence.
So how do we stress that balance? Like, how can we be curious about these alternative explanations without getting totally lost in them?
I think it all comes down to evidence. Does the theory hold up when you actually look at the facts? Does it rely on verifiable information like historical records or scientific data?
Or is it just like conjecture and speculation?
Exactly. Conspiracy theories often cherry-pick information to support their narrative and ignore anything that contradicts it.
So we need to be critical thinkers, look for solid evidence, and be wary of claims that are based on emotion or personal anecdotes.
Exactly. Don't just take things at face value.
And I guess we also need to be aware of our own biases.
Oh, for sure. We all have them.
Yeah.
And those biases can influence how we interpret information.
So if we already think that the government is hiding something from us or that there are these secret agendas at play, we're more likely to buy into theories that confirm those beliefs.
Even if there's no real evidence to back them up.
Yeah, it's like if you're looking for a conspiracy, you're going to find one, right?
Exactly. Our brains are wired to see patterns, even when they're not really there.
So we have to like constantly check ourselves, make sure we're not just seeing what we want to see.
Be self-aware. Ask yourself, am I really searching for the truth? Or am I just trying to prove myself right?
Good point. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, secret messages, Freemasons, and New World Order, and it's all about the Statue of Liberty. What does it all mean?
Well, I think it shows just how powerful symbols can be.
Especially one as iconic as Lady Liberty.
Exactly. It represents so much, ideas, aspirations, this whole vision of America that people connect with on a really personal level.
And because of that, it becomes this lightning rod for all sorts of hopes and fears and anxieties about the world.
It's like a mirror reflecting back our collective anxieties.
Even if the theories themselves are a little out there, they tell us something about what people are worried about.
Definitely, like how they're trying to make sense of a world that can feel really chaotic and confusing.
And it shows why it's so important to be a critical thinker, right?
Especially these days, when information spreads so fast.
It's hard to know what's real and what's not.
Exactly. We have to be careful about what we believe and where we get our information from.
So it's not just about blindly absorbing everything we see and hear.
It's about asking questions, digging deeper.
And being open to the possibility that we might be wrong.
That's hard for people.
It is. I think this whole deep dive has also shown us that even the simplest symbols can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Right, like the Statue of Liberty might represent freedom and opportunity to one person.
But to someone else, it could represent control or even a hidden agenda.
And those interpretations can change over time, too, depending on what's happening in the world.
It's all about context, right?
Exactly. Our understanding of history is constantly evolving, so the symbols we associate with it change, too.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the conspiracy theories surrounding Lady Liberty.
It was a wild ride.
It was. But hey, That's what the deep dive is all about, right? We encourage you to be curious, to think critically, and always maintain a healthy dose of skepticism. So next time you see the Statue of Liberty,
Or any other powerful symbol for that matter.
ask yourself, what does it mean to me? And how does that meaning fit into the bigger picture? Thanks for joining us.